The goal is to give it a stable place to live and then stay out of its way. You know, that might just be the absolute most brilliant piece of plant care advice out there. Today, we're looking at the Kentia palm. It is the ultimate, elegant, fuss-free indoor tree. Honestly, if you're totally exhausted by diva houseplants, like that ficus that literally drops all its leaves if you just look at it wrong, well, you are in the exact right place. Because this palm, it craves consistency over basically everything else. So, welcome to this explainer. Consider this your Kentia Palm masterclass. We're going to treat this as your definitive, complete care guide for finding that perfect, steady rhythm for this classic, composed plant. We're covering the whole shebang today, from root to frond, so you can master caring for this gorgeous Indo tree with absolute confidence.
All right, here's our roadmap. First, we'll officially meet the Kentia palm, establish its core care rhythm, and talk about perfecting its environment. Then we'll dive into pruning and propagation, troubleshoot some common problems, and wrap it all up with pro tips for your long-term success.
Okay, part 1, meet the Kentia palm, the elegant indoor tree.
Let's start with its core identity, 6 to 12. To put that into perspective, that is the impressive height in feet that this palm can actually reach indoors. It brings this beautiful old-world lobby plant aesthetic right into your living room. Now, it grows incredibly slowly, so you're not going to see any crazy dramatic spurts and stalls. Instead, it rewards your patients with a really calm, vertical, architectural presence. Oh, and a massive bonus, it is completely 100% non-toxic to cats and dogs.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of care, we kind of need to make sure you actually have the right plant, right? There is a pretty big difference between the true Kentia palm, which is Howea forsteriana, and its close relative, the curly Kentia palm. The true Kentia gives you that wide-open, graceful crown with those long, arching fronds for a much softer, classical look. The curly Kentia, on the other hand, is a lot tighter with more recurved fronds. For that soft, space-filling silhouette, you're definitely looking for the true Kentia.
Moving right along to part 2, the core care rhythm, light, water, and soil.
Mastering these 3 fundamental elements is literally the secret to a thriving palm. So light is our first pillar here. Now, the Kentia is famously tolerant of lower light, but, and this is a big but, low light is merely tolerated. Sure, the plant will survive, but it leads to way wider spacing between the fronds and incredibly sparse, slow growth. The actual sweet spot? Bright, indirect light. An east-facing window is usually fantastic. This is exactly where the fronds stay wonderfully full and the plant gets the energy it needs to keep up a steady growth rate. Next up, watering. Remember, we are looking for a nice, steady rhythm here. Step 1, just wait for the top 1 to 2 inches of soil to dry out completely. Step 2, water it thoroughly until the mix is evenly moistened. And step 3, which is absolutely critical, guys, let the excess water drain completely. The big takeaway is that the Kentia handles being slightly dry much, much better than it handles having soggy roots. Winter is actually where most people trip up, so do yourself a favor and always check the soil with your finger instead of just sticking to some rigid watering calendar. To maintain that perfect watering rhythm, you've got to have the right foundation. Here is your ideal airy soil mix recipe. 2 parts of a quality indoor potting mix, 1 part coco coir, or peat if that's what you have on hand, just to hold a little moisture, and 1 part perlite or pumice to make sure the roots can actually breathe. You can even toss in some orchid bark if you want extra drainage. Dense, heavy garden soil is the enemy here. The roots desperately need oxygen, and this exact balance ensures even moisture without, turning the pot into a swamp. All right, part 3, perfecting the environment, humidity, temp, and feeding. So now we're graduating from just basic survival to actively optimizing the palm's living conditions. 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that is your comfortable temperature window. Basically, the Kentia palm wants normal indoor temperatures, but it absolutely despises sudden temperature swings. Keep it far away from cold drafts near exterior doors, and definitely, no matter what, do not blast it with hot, dry air from your heating vents. Consistency is totally the name of the game here. Let's fine-tune the rest of the environment with a couple quick tweaks. Average household humidity is usually okay, but boosting it, maybe running a humidifier if your house is dry, is your massive #1 defense against those annoying crispy brown leaflet tips. Now, when it comes to feeding, listen, they are light feeders. Just feed them lightly in the spring and summer using a diluted palm or balanced fertilizer, and then pause all feeding entirely in the fall and winter. Over-fertilizing is just going to burn the tips, and nobody wants that. That brings us to part 4, pruning and propagation, advanced care.
In this advanced stage, we have to focus heavily on the art of restraint. Never cut the central growing point. This right here is the absolute, undisputed golden rule of palm pruning. Palms are not like your typical branching shrubs. If you chop off the top of the trunk, the crown, you completely remove the plant's only ability to keep growing from that stem. Seriously, you should only ever prune fully brown, dead fronds. Leave the green ones alone. Pruning for this specific plant is entirely about holding back. And now, brace yourselves for a bit of a propagation reality check. If you're used to simply dividing your houseplants to make more, well, I gotta gently break the news. Kentias cannot be propagated by division. You actually have to start them from seed. You soak the seed, plant it in a warm, sterile mix, and then, well, you wait. It requires immense patience because the germination is incredibly slow. Honestly, between you and me, if you want a beautiful specimen anytime soon, just buying a healthy mature plant is definitely the smarter move. Repotting requires that exact same gentle touch. Kentia palms actually like being slightly snug, and they hate having the roots aggressively disturbed. So wait a good 2 to 4 years until you see the roots clearly circling the pot. Water it lightly the day before to prep the plant. When you do repot, choose a pot that is only 1 to 2 inches wider. Do not go huge. And finally, keep that root ball as intact as possible, and this is crucial, never bury it deeper than it was originally planted.
Let's move to part 5, troubleshooting. Clues, not catastrophes. I want you to start viewing issues as simple diagnostic clues, not total catastrophes. There is absolutely no need to panic. Let's quickly run through the most common symptoms. If you're seeing brown tips, your likely culprit is dry air or maybe hard water mineral buildup. Easy fix, add a humidifier or flush the pot with fresh water. Notice yellowing lower fronds? That's almost always a sign of overwatering or root rot, meaning you gotta check those roots and improve drainage immediately. And what if you spot some dusty webbing? Spider mites. Isolate the plant right away, wipe down the leaves, and raise that humidity because mites absolutely love dry air.
Since watering issues are by far the most common, let's contrast the two biggest mistakes so you know exactly what to look for. Overwatering is going to give you yellowing, lower fronds, soft, mushy soil that just won't dry, and kind of a sour smell coming from the pot. Underwatering, on the flip side, gives you crispy leaflet tips, really dull-looking fronds, and soil that literally pulls away from the edges of the pot. By checking for these exact signs, you can immediately diagnose if you're throwing off the plant's natural rhythm and just adjust accordingly.
All right, final stretch, part 6, pro tips for success. Mastering the long game. Let's lock in the behavioral habits that will actually make you an expert plant parent with some rapid-fire, actionable pro tips. First up, do not overpot. It literally just leads to soggy soil. Second, let the plant settle. Stop moving it around your house. Third, rotate the pot just a little bit every few weeks to keep the crown from leaning heavily toward the light. Fourth, wipe the dust off those fronds so the plant can actually photosynthesize efficiently. And above all else, think in years, not weeks. Patience and minimal interference will give you a stunning display that lasts for decades. Which brings us perfectly to our final core takeaway. Care for the Kentia palm is a rhythm guide, not a rescue guide. Honestly, mastering the steady basics, just providing the right light, a consistent watering pattern, and letting those roots breathe is truly all this elegant indoor tree ever requires from you. So that leaves us with one final question for you. Are you ready to find your Kentia palm's rhythm? Armed with everything we've covered in this explainer, you now have the exact blueprint to bring this calm, architectural presence right into your home and just watch it thrive beautifully for years to come. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive today, and hey, happy growing!